Yeah, today we're going to be doing Manion Wad, honoring First Lieutenant Travis Manion. End of watch, April 29th. Hometown, Philadelphia boy. Making Philadelphia.
Push.
OG
No, come on. Come down. There it is. Money. Be flowing. Move. Go. Flip out. Come down.
OG Panda B.
Jab it. That's better. Step. Jab it. Good. Step. Get busy. Good. Let's get money. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Shift that weight over there. Good. Good. Relax. Weight over. Shift your weight. That's it. Shift your weight. Good. That's it right there. Every time. Good. Relax.
thing started.
Jordan, what's this offseason been like for you, and what type of shape do you feel like you're in now compared to the end of last season?
Definitely improvement, man, from all bullets points on the board. It's one thing I've been focused on. Just getting better. You know, I said the same thing last year for my rookie year. I wanted to get better every year, and, you know, I'm finding ways to improve that. Obviously, you know, stepping into a much larger role than I was last year. And, you know, I know what's expected of me. But in terms of just being in my best shape, I'm getting in the best condition of my life. So I mean, that's just not from me. That's from top down, from the D-line. That's the standard that we demand from each other. So if you look over there, practice, we working. We running. We getting after it. So definitely, you know, we can always improve. I'm not going to sit there and stop. I'm not comfortable where I'm at, but I'm definitely, you know, improving. Definitely improving.
How'd you go about changing your conditioning? Was it something that you focused on more than you had in the past?
Yeah, you know, it's just diet. Really just diet. Cutting out the juice and shit. Or cutting out the juice and stuff. Yeah, but like stuff like that, just making minor changes to lifestyle, you know, being more active in my lifestyle. If I have a day off, making sure I do something active, whether that's walking outside, going outside, you know, getting into backpacking now. So, you know, just going on little hikes and stuff like that, trying to be more one with nature and stuff like that. Just little stuff to get me outside. Don't want to be sedentary, don't want to sit inside all the time. When I have free time, know I should be doing something, improving, whether that's watching film, you know, doing stuff like that. You know, if you're going to sit there and watch TV, watch 15 minutes of film before you start watching TV. Just little stuff like that.
Did you lose like actual weight, a number, or did you just get more like tone?
Get more lean. Yeah, I'm 350 right now.
That's pretty much where you were last year.
Pretty much. Well, I was a little above last year, but 350 now. But obviously, you know, it looks a lot better than how I did last year. And I feel a lot better than I did last year. And, you know, we just continue on. We got a plan here. And we just keep on working.
Do you think you'll be able to handle the snap, like significantly more snaps per game?
Definitely. I'll be able to answer the call. I know it's required of me. I know Vic is leaning on me. I know the D-line's leaning on us. So I definitely think that I'll be able to handle it. That's what I'm working for. Nobody's coming to save us now. So, you know, we got to put the load on our backs. And that's coming from, you know, me, Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, Marlon. It's just everybody. We got more that's expected of us, so we have to go out there and show it.
It's your first all season without.
You mentioned Vic a little bit. What's been his feedback, and what has he tried to impart to you and Jalen now that Fletcher's not here?
Just be ourselves, really. You know, we love Fletch. Grateful for him. You know, he led the way. But Vic coming in with a new scheme, a new defense, and you know, fortunately, it's something that me and Jalen played before. Old school. I'm sure you heard that all the time. He's old school, so he don't give a damn. We running. He expects us, everybody that's on the field, he expecting us to be on the field for as long as we can. So, you know, we just know that he wants us to be out there. And, I mean, if you're going to be a player, you're going to be a dude, you want to be out there and you want to play. So I want to be that dude, so I want to play. Obviously, I'm sure everybody that's on the field wants to make plays and stuff like that. And the only way we could do that is just being on the field. So.
He's your fourth defensive coordinator in 3 years. How is he different personally than the other guys you've had?
No. There's no. And I hope y'all can bleep that out. But, like, it's really no BS with him. It's straight ball. You know, some people like it for better or for worse. I played with all types of coaches from high school, college. I mean, Kirby Smart's the worst of the worst, so not the worst of the worst, but he's, I mean, you know, he's old school. You get what it's expected on. You know it's a job to do. You got to do your job. If you don't do it, then it's a miss. So, you know, it's even from, like, Coach Clint, like, detail-oriented. If we mess up on the details, we got to go again. And it's not just saying, like, you know, you getting that extra rep, you're just doing it just to do it. You're doing it for improvement. You're doing it to make sure that you get it down, you get it right. And if we get it right, I mean, you do it right. If you do it wrong, you do it wrong. So it's either one way to do it, and that's just to do it correctly.
Along those lines, I guess, what has he told you he needs from you, you know, from this offseason and going into next year?
Being at my best and being an anchor to the defense. You know, making sure I get that middle line. You know, I want to make sure that middle is locked down. Alongside, you know, whatever scheme we playing, 3-4, 4-3, it doesn't matter. If I'm on the field, I want to make sure that I hold it down. And, you know, it's really just setting the wall, you know, setting the wall for the linebackers. That's what I've been doing. So I'm definitely excited for that. I'm sure the linebackers are excited to have guys like us in the D-line room to hold up But at the same time, we also athletic enough, we know, and we smart enough that we can make plays on our own too. So, we just complementary football. We just making sure that we playing in our right scheme, and then whatever happens, be an athlete.
What kind
of adjustment will be not to have Fletch to lean on?
Not much of an adjustment. Well, it is an adjustment. I ain't gonna sit there in front. I mean, Fletch my guy. So, but at the end of the day, he's not here anymore. It's us. So we can't sit there and think about, if Fletch was here, blah, 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 and Fletch was here. And we love him. God knows we love him. But, at the end of the day, we have to go out and we have to make sure that we put our best foot forward and we continue that. And like I said, nobody's coming to save us. So what you going to do? What we going to do? So.
As a pass rusher, how are you now compared to the past 2 off seasons? As a pass rusher, how are you now compared to the past 2 off seasons?
I'm improving, and I'm loving it. Even now, it's just knowing the detail. Like I said, Coach Clint, man, he's all about the details. He always on that. We spend a lot of time, and even just us as players, we spend a lot of time after practice. Like, the reason why I'm here late is because, like a couple of the D-line, we stay out there 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes after everybody goes in. We call it Breakfast Club, but we're really late. But, we just spend the time just working on our craft, and that's not us going 100%. We're not going full throttle. But it's just making sure that you get them hands right. You stab lift, and you make sure that you work them swipes, and you want to make sure that you just little detail, little nuances that come with it. And if you're doing it in the group, it started out with just 2, now it's like 3, 4, 5. So I guess going to you in terms of the leadership, it's not really a set leader, but we try to lead by example. We try to pull everybody along. We always have a saying, I can't climb if my brother's falling. So if everybody else is getting better, then we getting better as a unit.
With physical endurance, it seems like there's also mental endurance. I'm not thinking like you're tired in certain situations. Like, do you start to see that show up now?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, we try to push ourselves to the limit anytime we go. So, hey, I don't know if y'all been out there when y'all get a chance to see the box drills, but box drills, I mean, it's pretty much everything. It's just straight conditioning. There's no breaks. Well, it's breaks, but, that's when we really get our conditioning. That's when our mental toughness really comes through. Because we do it in the middle of practice, so you're already tired from the previous periods, and then you got more periods afterwards. So it's smack dab in the middle, so you have to make sure that your mind and your body, and you just building that endurance. It's just reps. It's reps. It's like, shoot, you ain't learn how to walk. You had to take those few steps. You had to fall in a couple times. But at the end of the day, you walking, talking, healthy, breathing, and it's just like second nature to you. So the more rest that we get, the more comfortable we are, the more conditioned we are, and the more that we be able to sustain and make plays.
What's been your substitute for juice?
Substitute for juice? Water. It ain't no other substitute, man. It's straight water. Get that? Yeah, Nolan. Yeah, Nolan. But yeah, man, straight water. And if I have to get that fix for juice, it's a spot at Whole Foods. They got like a little mango juice. It's like 90 calories. Like the whole bottle is probably like, it's like a liter bottle. Whole bottle is probably like 120 calories. So you're not drinking straight up Arizona's, which I love. Don't get me wrong, I'm from the South. I love me some Arizona, but it's just little switches like that. You can clear a bottle and be like, 120 calories. It's pretty good. Instead of like 360 in a little 32 ounce. All right, appreciate y'all.
How y'all doing? Good afternoon.
What's up?
Okay, how y'all doing? Good afternoon.
Doing well.
Thank you. All right, let's pop it off.
How's this offseason been different from you? Last year was your rookie year. How's it been different for you in terms of getting acclimated?
Man, just learning. I'm just learning. I'm taking the same attitude and approach I did last year, trying to help the team any way I can, still be that juice, that energy guy, always picking people up, and just really, I can't climb with my brother falling, like JD said. So I'm just here just to learn, fly around, and I feel like this that year I turned the corner, just me and just watching the game and just studying.
What's the reality of what you were dealing with health-wise last year, and how has that changed to this point?
Wasn't no problems health-wise, man. I'm just ready to play football, ready to fly around. It's a learning curve. A lot of people think you're supposed to come in the league and dominate and do all of this and that, and I got the same dreams and hopes that everybody have for me else. I want to get, 10-plus sacks and do all of that, but realistically, it's a learning curve. These guys been in here 15 years. These guys been in here a long time. And I say praise to Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson taught me everything from getting my toes right to how I work, what I'm looking for in a tackle, and just different things like that.
How's the shoulder this year?
Oh, it's amazing. It's ready to go. Can't wait to use it.
By toes right, what do you mean?
Man, you know, a lot of people don't know, like, look at her feet. They all scrunched up between. That's bad for all your Achilles and toes and stuff. And I didn't know that till I got to the league. So I put on toe spacers, lifting toe spacers, make sure my knees and stuff right. And look, when y'all go home, look at y'all feet. Y'all feet probably look like this. Your feet should be kind of like your fingers. Like you should be able to wiggle your toes and space them out. And I learned that from Lane. So.
No Hassan Reddick this year, but they bring in Bryce Huff. Without Reddick, how do you feel about that? And then what about Bryce Huff? Have you guys been able to connect?
Oh, yeah. Bryce is an amazing guy, and so is Hassan. I learned so much from Hassan. So if you're trying to get me to say something bad about Seven, man, I love Seven to death because he gave his all to me. And he taught me things from here that I take with me for the rest of my life. And just even how he look at the game. You know, a lot of people don't look at the game through like a real speed rusher standpoint, and so does Huff. We all look at the game different, and who can you learn from? Or are you too stubborn and be like, oh, no, I got it, I'm good? No, you always got to be a learner, and I learned that from BG. 15 years, he said, man, I learned so much from me. In my rookie year, I say freshman, but my rookie year, I was like, how he learned so much from me? But he just told me, like, you got to have an open mind and always be willing to learn and take stuff in.
What are your first impressions of Vic? And, you know, people talk about his old school mentality.
I love it. I love it. I come from coaches like that. Like, you know, a lot of people say the Bama family tree. No, it's the Georgia family tree now. So from the Georgia family tree, you know, those tough coaches that want you to push a little bit extra, give me a little bit more, and I expect more from you. That's what I want you to expect more from me. And that's what Coach Wash pushed me to that point. Like, Coach Wash expects a lot from me, and I expect a lot from myself. And he constantly, Coach Wash pushed me day in and day out that it ain't no problem to work for Coach Vic.
So just to clarify, you didn't need any scope or anything on your shoulder, and you feel like it's 100%, and you're able to do everything.
Ready to go. You want me to lift my hand up and see?
I'm just
playing with you. I'm just playing with you.
It seemed like it was an issue last year at times.
Hey, man, we all struggle with our own battles internally, but, hey, it's ready to go, though.
What do you think was the toughest adjustment for you last year? Maybe something that you didn't quite expect to be as tough as it was, maybe?
Man, I say it was the speed of the game, looking at too much, seeing too much, not seeing enough. And I just remember what BG told me, man, you see a little, see a lot. See too much, you don't see nothing. So that's one thing that I'm going to just try to hone in on this year. Just focus on my keys, my line, my get off, just being on my stuff, being on my 2x2, and just focus on things that I can control.
How about in terms of physically, you know, the jump between year one and year two? Sometimes physically guys get a little bigger, a little stronger. They know more about nutrition. Have you been able to kind of change your body in any way to kind of withhold?
Oh yeah, I'm coming in this year 245. I was about 238 last year. I was on the heavier side, but I'm gonna come in a little more bulky, and it wasn't because of, you know, people think, oh, no, I just want to get there, just personally, and me and Coach Wash talked about it, and he feel comfortable with that, and he said, as long as I keep my speed, we good.
Both Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman have talked about mentality, especially on defense. You just talked about being the juice guy. How have you approached that? How do you think that's important to what you have and going into next year?
Man, I feel like I got to be the energy guy, one, because I'm young. Two, I do got a lot of juice, and I got something to give and for people to feed off me. Like, you may coming in with a bad day, but you're going to see Nolan smiling up and giddy and excited to be here. So what that's going to make you, man? Let's get with work. Now, if you come in here down and stuff all the time, then what you think the day going to be? It's going to be down and gloomy. You're going to hate being here. So why don't you just flip it? Just have a great attitude every day, come in ready to work, smiling. That's why when I say good morning, I expect people to good morning. Y'all should want to be here. Y'all are our media group. Y'all help us get the word out. So that's all I got to say about that.
You played some off-ball linebacker last year, select plays here and there. Is that something you think will still be in the cards?
Hey, whatever I come in on Monday and whatever they tell me to do, I'm going to do it to my best ability. One, because I love football, and two, because I love the Eagles in Philadelphia. Do anything for this city. If it's playing off the ball back, I'll do it. If it's playing on the ball back, I'll do it. So it really don't matter to me. Football is football at the end of the day. You got to go fly around and hit somebody dead in their shit, no matter if you on the ball or off the ball.
Before you got up here, you heard Jordan speaking was, what have you seen different from Jordan this spring?
If you can't tell, that boy look good. He nice and slim. He running around. He doing box drills like it's nothing. And the box drill, really, I told him it's like a linebacker drill. Like Coach Wash makes us do it just because we're all linebackers, DNs, but them big boys be doing it. And I couldn't be more proud of them just because it's not an easy drill. Especially if you go out there and do it right now, I bet you would die. So yeah. And then imagine doing 4 sets of it. 5 dots, you got to touch everyone and finish through. So I just appreciate the work that they do because it'll bring us all closer. Like if you work hard and you sweat together, you connect together, and then you play together. So.
Have you been backpacking with Jordan at all?
Backpacking? Oh, you meant like hiking? Oh, I ain't knew what you meant. I want to go with him. You know, I like when I go train. I train out in California in the mountains. So that one thing, I just be by myself, be isolated with my thoughts. And I told him we could go backpacking whenever you want, just cause ain't no greater connection than just a D tackle and his end. And I tell him that we feed off each other all the time, even in the game. I just look at JD. Oh, okay, and then that's it. We understand what we're doing.
Talked about your ability to bring the energy. It seems like Jalen Hunt also has that in him too. What have been your early impressions of his personality and also his skill set?
Oh yeah, he just like me. He run 1,000 miles an hour, and if he f up, he gonna f up 1,000 miles an hour. And I tell him keep doing that, because if you mess up 1,000 miles an hour, you gonna make something right happen. I'm sorry for my language. I don't mean to curse. It's just natural. I'm just coming off the field, and I just talk to him like that. Hey man, you mess up 1,000 miles an hour. And he can't curse you out. He could correct you, but at least you giving effort. At least you know, all right, well, he gonna give effort. I can coach him off that. And just, man, I see so much of myself in him that I tell him, bro, I give you anything. Like, whatever you want to talk about, just because that's what Haas and BG did for me. And I just want to be one of those people that pass the torch, you know. I don't never want to be stingy with information just because we all a group. And I can't climb and my brother fall, and that's the truth.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Nolan.
Appreciate y'all, man.
How y'all doing?
How's that pick 6 feel?
Wait, what happened?
How'd the pick 6 feel?
I feel good. It's just a blessing to be back, man. Feel real good.
What was the hardest part of the last year for you?
I say just being away from a locker room, you know, that brotherhood feeling and just understanding that, you know, I made a mistake and, you know, I did my time, and just being back around, you know, a great team and a great culture of guys, and just finally getting that locker room environment back into my heart. It feels real good.
Can you explain why the league initially this offseason allowed certain guys to come back, that it's similar transgressions and yours took a little bit longer?
I think mine was because of, you know, the actions that was towards mine. You know, and I think a lot of people only did certain things, so their punishment wasn't as strong as mine. So I think that's why a lot of guys were able to come back.
Isaiah, it doesn't look like you've missed the beat, really. You've come in and, you know, made an impact these first 2 OTAs that we've seen. How have you been able to what did you do during this time away? How were you able to you know, keep from getting rusty, I guess?
Well, I just kept my schedule as if I was still playing. You know, on Sundays, I use it like a game day, so I do cardio and things like that. I take Tuesdays off as if I was still playing. So I kind of still stayed with the NFL schedule and just continue to work and just prepare for these moments.
Did your time away shift your perspective in any way?
Oh, for sure. It brought me closer, you know, to my loved ones. It brought me closer to the game. You know, it made me actually, like, not take this game for granted and just understand that, you know, the league doesn't need anybody.
Have you noticed any changes in your game since you came back?
I say I'm faster. I think that's the one thing I can say. I worked on my speed this offseason, and I worked on my hands. So I think just making plays on the ball is one thing that I definitely played a factor in throughout this offseason, just building up my speed.
How did it come together with the Eagles in the first place?
I don't know. They just called, and, you know, they jumped the gun. I jumped the gun. This is definitely somewhere I wanted to be.
Were they the only ones?
Yeah.
How much did it help to have, I mean, you got that done early, back in the spring. How much did it help to have a team, even though you couldn't be here, to have like a concrete goal and feel a part of the team?
Just knowing that they were a team that wanted me, you know, despite of the whole entire suspension. Just knowing that I had a place that I can call home when the time came, and it's now. So I think just knowing that a team actually were willing to sacrifice of just holding me out and just trusting and believing that I'll continue to work during the offseason, know that I'll come back and be a better player.
Who was the consistent voice from the organization just in that patient period?
Really nobody. It was just really my agent. You know, my agent was the main one just talking to me. It was nobody in the building just like continuously talking to me or anything like that. It was really my agent just telling me just keep my head up and just keep working.
Sports gambling is more of an issue now in the NFL and in pro sports overall. What perspective do you have on what athletes deal with and what they should know from your story?
Just really just rules are rules, you know, and they're there for a reason. So you break them, you get your consequences. If you don't, you continue to be great. So I think that's one thing that everybody should learn.
Was there enough understanding of what those rules actually are? Because the actual legislation around all this stuff has changed rapidly in the last couple of years. Is there, among your peers, enough understanding of what the rules actually are?
I think if it's not, it should be. You know, I understand. So yeah, if I got to be that guy to let everyone around me know, or people around the league to know that, you know, you might want to understand those rules or you'll be in my shoes.
What are your thoughts on the new kickoff rules?
Oh, I love them. I love them. I think I think once you get past that first level, there's really nobody else there. So we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be a little different to actually see it, but I'm ready to actually get it going full speed.
Isaiah, have you leaned on your cousin Dominique Rodgers Cromartie in terms of what it's like to play football in the city?
Oh yeah, I talk to him every day. Like I don't think a day go by I don't talk to him. So I just I don't really talk to him so much about the city. I just talk to him about like just being in the NFL in general and just knowing how he was able to stay in the league for 13 years, and I think that's my goal as well.
It's one thing to practice on your own back home, but I mean to come in and not look rusty in 7-on-7 and that kind of thing. Where does that come from? I mean, it's one thing to work out by yourself, but this is different.
I think it's a mindset. You know, I've envisioned every time I worked out, I envisioned the A.J. Browns or the Devonta Smiths in front of me. So I think I just kind of locked in during my training and just knowing that when I actually do get back, it's going to be, you know, great receivers in front of me.
And then you got the opportunity to play outside, and they've started you outside here, obviously. Do you have the versatility to play inside?
I could do whatever the team need me. If I got to play DN and come out the edge, I'll do that as well. But I just think whatever coach asks me to do, you know, I lock in my playbook and study it.
Isaiah, there's no depth in this cornerback room. When you look around the room, what do you see?
A lot of great talent, great guys. A lot of guys, like you said, who can play inside and outside. And just a lot of guys that's willing to learn, you know, including the rookies. They come in and ask questions, you know, questions that I never asked when I was a rookie. So just knowing that they're willing to learn and learn from me, you know, even when me sitting out a year, they still trust my knowledge and trust my game plan going into practice. So I think that's the one thing about this room is everyone's just willing to learn.
Thanks, Isaiah.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
What brought you back to football?
I never wanted to leave football. I think I was just at a point in my life where, you know, I had a lot going on. But literally the day I retired, I knew it was a mistake. But I think when you go through so much in life and you can only control so much, you know, you get to a place mentally and physically, you know, from what I've been dealing with and what I've dealt with, you know, it was tough. But in my heart, I know who I am. I immediately started to coach. Like I coached my son. So I was always in it, and I knew it was a mistake, but, you know, where I am now, I feel I'm in a much better place mentally, physically, and even spiritually. So I'm actually thankful it happened.
John, it might be a little humbling maybe to have to come to a tryout situation and show what you can do. I mean, how did you approach, you know, your first chance here to make it back into the league?
Oh, you look at it like this. Well, in my situation, I was a top 10 draft pick, and we all talk about it all the time. Like, man, if we ever get to the point where we have to try out, we'd probably be done. But then you get to that point, and you're like, you don't have no other choice. And when I got the opportunity, I was probably the happiest person on earth. Me and my son, you know, just sitting there being, you know, I was just grateful and thankful. And when I got here, you know, I was happy to be here. So it wasn't more so, you know, it's a rookie mini camp. I was looking at it this way. It was an opportunity again for me to play football again. So that's what I seen. It could have been a Eagles Canadian tryout. I would have been there, you know, happy and willing and able.
How did you get from the point you were at when you retired to where you are now? How did you navigate that?
As far as what?
Well, you said you weren't in a good place, and you feel like you are now. How did you get here?
I feel like there's a lot of different things. I think when you get in a point where you feel like you're at your lowest, you get a chance to see everything for what it is. And then you get to kind of look around and see your surroundings. And I can tell you that my environment wasn't great. You know, so you kind of gotta hone down and, you know, pay attention to what matters to you and what's real. And I got to see my son every single day. And I think that changed my life because it just let me know that I don't have anything to worry about. I'm blessed and I have everything in front of me. And I'm young. I feel young. I haven't played that much football. So I just got to a point where I was just sitting there thinking every single day, how do I change my mentality? How do I change my mindset? I got this little boy inspiring me every day through him, watching him play football and him learn and me teach him. And I used to feel bad because I would get on him so much, and I used to be like, I should be getting on myself, because I can see me in him, and it was, I can honestly say he pulled me out of a bad place. And again, I'm very thankful.
How old is your son, and what was his reaction to finding out that you were going to try to come back?
My son just turned 7, actually last week. And I asked him, right before I came, because I already knew I was coming for rookie minicamp, but I asked him, I said, son, tell me a few teams, you would like dad to, try out for. And sure enough, his second team, he said it was the Eagles, and I lit up like a Christmas tree, and I just knew I was supposed to be here. So that right there kind of just, it motivated me to basically, when I got on that plane, I told myself, don't come home. And that was my focus going through, and it's still my focus now.
What was the first team?
He said the Ravens. He's a big Lamar Jackson fan. So.
What's his name, your son?
My son's name is Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
And so is it hard to be away after having seen him every day? Is it hard to be away right now?
Absolutely. I mean, every second I spend away from him is hard. But I understand sacrifice, and he's older now to where he calls me. He's like even today, he called me right before meetings, and he went to school. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going to meetings," And he's just happy. Every day he wants to hear how practice is, and that really keeps me in it. I'm already in it for myself. Like I'm like I said, I wake up every day happy. Like I can wake up at 3 a.m. and I'll smile because I'm like, I'm really in Philly. You know what I'm saying? And I actually grew up an Eagles fan too, so it's actually crazy. But he calls me every day and keeps me in it for sure.
You were drafted.
I'm sorry.
What do you tell him about today?
Oh, Dad was running today. Just tell him. Today, I feel like today was a good day. I think I'm starting to kind of get the offense more, and I'm getting to focus more on the details, and I'm getting in there more. So I feel better each and every day.
What do you think you showed the Eagles in that tryout, and what do you want to show over the next few weeks and then in training camp?
I haven't lost a step. I'm still the same guy. Even I feel like I'm better than what I was, just because where I am mentally. I think physically that was probably my biggest problem. I've dealt with so many injuries, and I mean, sure enough, you guys know, you've heard. But I think what was hindering my success was my mental. But because of how I was feeling physically, so tying all that together, I think it kind of put me in a bad place. But where I am now, like I don't see myself in a bad place at all. So
you were drafted in this city, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have any recollections of what that was like? All the Philly fans and that, and you went on the hospital visit and that.
Yeah, I don't remember too much of what we did. I do remember some of that. We went to
Shriners Hospital.
Yeah, I think so. But that was a great moment for me. It was a lot of gifting suites, and just meeting some of the other players, some of the older cats that played in the league. It was a great experience.
Why do you think you're as fast as you used to be? Have you been timed in the 40 or?
You said.
Why do you think you're as fast as you used to be?
I think I'm faster, and I know that's going to be crazy to say, but I'm not feeling the same way I felt before physically. So that's why I say I think I'm faster. And when I say that, don't get me wrong, I ran 4.22. I'm not saying I'm 4.15 or anything, but what I'm saying is I just feel better. So I think I can consistently be faster, and I think that was my biggest thing. Like, can this guy go every single day and look the same every single day? And I feel that I'm getting to the point where I can be consistent with my speed. And to me, that's the biggest blessing that I can ask for.
You mentioned the 4.22. What was your reaction to seeing that get broken at the combine?
You know what? First, I want to say congrats to him. I don't have social media or his number or anything, and I know people are probably like, "Oh, John is mad" or anything, but I know records are meant to be broken, and I held it for 7 years. I tell people all the time, it's not like I was getting paid for it, so I'm not going to sit here and be mad. And that's big ups to him. I think that's amazing. That's rolling, and again, I'm happy to see it happen. Of course, no one wants their record to be broken, but I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it. Like, I'm still blessed, and again, I broke it first, So again, I was thankful to be in a position to where I'm the one that got it broken. So
what do you mean by more consistent with your speed?
Just being able to run fast every day. And I think that's tough, because you probably heard people say all the time, like guys who get a sports car, you don't want to drive your sports car every day. It'll break down, So when you consistently can be fast every day and display that, like, that's what I'm known for. When you hear my name, you associate me with speed. So if I can't be that guy every single day, then I'm I'm kind of not going to be available for what they want me to do. So if I can be consistent every day and come in and be healthy and be fast every single day, then I don't see me not being in a position to succeed.
How y'all doing?
Well, how are you?
Good.
What made you decide to sign here? What led you coming here?
Yeah, I think the familiarity with Nick, obviously, him being the OC in Indy when they drafted me, having a familiar face always helps. I was taught as a young age, never burn bridges. You never know what door might open later in life. And, that was kind of that opportunity for me. Him having known me knowing him. Obviously, Kevin Patullo as well, J. Mike, even Amo, because Amo was helping out with the receivers when I was a rookie. So just having familiar faces definitely led in my decision to come here for sure.
Is it weird to see Nick now as head coach from when you knew him like that?
Yes and no. Obviously, he's got to be more vocal as a head coach and always in front of the team. But even when I was in Indy with him, you kind of just seen it trending that way that he would get a head coaching job at some point. Just the way he kind of went about business. Obviously, succeeding in offenses there in Indy. So it wasn't a surprise to have him get the opportunity, but it's definitely a little bit different, like seeing him up front all the time. It's cool though.
Is there anything different about him that you've noticed?
No, I get asked that question a lot, and that's the one thing I can say about Nick. Like, he's the same person from the first day I met him to now. No matter what his job title is, like he's the exact same person every single day, and you got to respect that, especially when a guy moves up in the ranks for sure.
Hey, after being with Isaiah Rodgers in Indy, what can you tell us about his game? And for a guy who hasn't played in a year and a half, what have you seen from him?
Well, just knowing him and obviously seeing him out there, he's not really missing a beat. You can tell he stayed in shape. I actually talked to him and asked him, what did you do for a whole year? And he was telling me he was trying to emulate his schedule as if he was in the season. So he would work out on Sundays and kind of take Tuesday as his day off, and then kind of go through workouts as he was practicing, and it shows, man. But he's a skillful player, smart, instinctive. He's got all the athletic ability in the world, and I think he'll be a great piece to the team.
Harris, your opportunity on this team is, I think, your third team, right? I mean, how do you view this opportunity, 1-year contract? How are you looking at your situation?
Yeah, to be honest with you, man, my career to this point, it's been a lot of ups and downs. I tend to harp on the downs more than the ups, but another opportunity is all I need. At the end of the day, that's all I wanted. I'm just a guy that's going to try to make the most of the opportunity whenever it comes, whenever it shows. And, I take pride in that. Obviously, the number of opportunities wherever you are may be limited, but that's why I say you got to make the most of them. And each and every day, man, I'm just trying to get better at my craft, being a better teammate, being a better person, all the intangible things. And like I said, when the opportunity comes my way, I just want to make the most of it.
Harping on the downs instead of the ups, is that a conscious decision, or is that something that just kind of happens?
I think a little bit of both. I think just the guy that I am, my competitive nature. Obviously, I love to compete with others in this game, in this sport, but I compete with myself a lot. And obviously, some of my downs have been things I haven't been able to control. Obviously, talking about injuries and things of that nature. But some of the other things, on a day-to-day basis, I think just being the competitive guy that I am is just something that's inside of me. I always want to be better than I was the previous day. So
there's talk around the NFL.
When you look at the speed in the room with you and also John Ross, I mean, what have you noticed about that, especially you and John Ross?
Yeah, I mean, you can look out there on the field, man, and flying around trying to make plays. And for me, and I'm sure John as well. Like every time you're on the field, you just want to put that speed on tape. No matter if you're the number one read in the play or the last read in the play, you always just want to put that speed, on tape. And obviously the quarterbacks to see that, the coaches to see that, and hopefully more opportunities come from that. Just always going hard.
There's talk around the NFL that they might want to shift the workouts to late June or late July, thinking about injuries and prevention towards that. And some have talked about how off-season schedules for players, what that looks like. What are your thoughts on that? What do you consider?
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't really put much thought into it. I feel like now, I'm year 6 in the league, I kind of gotta not kind of, but I have a pretty good routine of, how I schedule my off season in terms of dates and, report dates and all that stuff like that. But shoot, if they're willing to push it back, like, I'm not gonna be mad, because that kind of just gives us more time, obviously with our families, and kind of doing the same things, just working out. Like the first 2 weeks of OTAs is kind of just working out and training and stuff like that, which, I mean, we're kind of doing already, you know what I mean? But then I see the side of it coming in when we do, because got a lot of new faces, guys that you signed in free agency, and then obviously the draft. So I mean, it's not a bad thing that we come in when we do, because guys get to kind of be around each other, know each other, and create that bond early on.
You mentioned the injury history for yourself. Do you think that schedule shift would help in terms of injury recovery and streamlining that to the season?
I mean, yes and no. Speaking personally, I feel like a lot of my injuries have been things out of my control. I feel like I've had a lot of freak injuries. And, can prevent, I don't know. But I mean, more time off, more rest, more recovery. I mean, if you're doing it the right way, then it's definitely beneficial, for sure.
Second round back in 19, the Eagles were very interested in you. What do you remember from that period, that process?
Yeah, it's actually funny, because I took a top 30 visit here, and I remember my visit vividly, coming in, like, just really loving the place, loving the staff, loving the people, especially, like, just having like conversations with Howie, and just kind of just being in the building. Like, it felt right to me. And I remember, like, going home after my top 30 visit, talking to my girlfriend, wife now, and my mom, like, was like, dang, I really like the Eagles. And that was kind of one of my teams, like, going into the draft. Like, I thought that I might be here. And I know that there's been talks that, it almost happened or whatever. But I mean, in hindsight of things, like, things always work out how they're supposed to be. And, now I'm here. So I don't know if it was meant to be like that. Obviously it was, but, now I'm here. So
with the new offense being installed here, do you feel that it levels the playing field for you with your competition at all?
So I think, obviously, with Kellen being here, at the end of the day, for me, like, football is football. And obviously, like I said, like, being with a familiar face, and Nick, so working with him and kind of, like, knowing what he's done in the past, and then obviously Kellen being a different dynamic. The good thing is, like, a lot of that stuff is similar, just different terms and different names. So for me, it's been very easy to kind of just be in here and get in the offense and understand it. So, yeah, I think that's a credit to another reason why I came here, just knowing Nick has some type of hand in the offense with Kellen. So it definitely helps me.
What about your impressions of Jalen Hurts so far? What do you
Can you say that again?
Impressions of Jalen Hurts so far.
Yeah, shoot. So I remember when I first, like, agreed to terms to come here, the first person I got a text was from Jalen. And he was basically just saying, like, excited to, have you here. He said he kind of watched me from afar, just knowing that I was a speedy guy, good player, whatever. But just, that meant a lot to me, for him to reach out, during that time. And since I've been here, man, he's been nose down, like, just works hard. He's a great leader. Just kind of his presence, his aura, it just speaks volumes of the player he is, the leader he is, the person he is, man. And he's just grinding to get better each and every day. And, when you're in a building with a guy like that, you just want to play for them and want to get better with them. So.
The injury prevention front, do you notice that the way that they do things here is different than the other places you have been?
Yeah, so I would say that they are very, very, very detailed. Like, Fernando and his team, they're, like, super, super detailed. Like, even today, like, we got these little things where we kind of rate our soreness from the prior practice and things like that. And talking with Steph and the nutritionist, just about plans and all that stuff, like, they're very, very detailed. And I've been in places where it's been like that, but I think this is kind of a step up, just how they're so attentive to those things, and I think it's definitely beneficial to the players, for sure.
You mentioned Nick a couple times as far as why you came here, and even Kevin and Jason, but having AJ and Devonta in that room as a fellow receiver, how does that, do you sort of envision getting a lot of one-on-ones?
Yeah, man, to be honest with you, like, looking at the room and looking at the situation, it's like I'm blessed to be with two of the best receivers in the game. And from the outside looking in, like, the question is, why would you go there? They already got these guys. But I'm like, man, I want to be around greatness. Like, I want to be in there and be with these guys and work with these guys and learn from these guys. Obviously, me and AJ came in together. Devonta came in the year after. And so, like, I've known AJ prior because we trained together for the combine and all that stuff. But, like, to be in a room with those guys, like, it's only room to opportunity to learn more. Like, these are two of the best. And And if you're in a room with that, like getting all the knowledge you can, like playing, competing with those guys, like it's only gonna make you better. So like I'm blessed to be in this opportunity, blessed to be in that room for sure.
Thanks, guys. You have a great run.
Thank y'all.